Good evening and welcome to Awakening Wednesday. I am so grateful to be with you today and excited to share what is being birthed through me. So as we always do, before we get started, let me send some love out to you and to you and to you and to you and to you here as well. Let us just breathe into this moment. Breathe into the divine awareness that all that there is this absolute light and love and joy. That this divine essence, this remarkable presence is always available and always here. So as we take this breath and breathe into the absolute knowingness that in this very moment, the presence of spirit is, that love is being birthed in a way unlike ever before, that love is igniting us in a way unlike ever before, and that love and respect of the journey, respect of each one's personal expression and journey is unfolding in our hearts, unfolding in our mouth, and unfolding in what we hear. So as we take absolute awareness and hold this light in our heart, we send out this song, a love song to you. Words I say are true, may be simple at best. Until you give your love, there's nothing more you can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to change the life you once knew. Until you give your love, there's nothing more you can do. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom, the answers we learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes seen? Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Oh, do you know what I mean? Can your heart see? Do you know what I mean? Has your eyes really seen? I love that song. Thank you, Elton John, for such a beautiful song. The first time I heard it, I couldn't believe it was Elton. It was very early Elton John. And it's just a beautiful song. And so tonight, we are going to talk about that love that he's singing about. We're going to talk about that love and that respect. A couple of weeks ago, I had the divine pleasure of going from cat sitting to dog sitting. And there were some very unique things that I recognized that struck my heart in such a way that I was like, wow, have I been doing that? And so I want to share that with you tonight, this spiritual principle of love and respect that runs through everything. And so as we get ready tonight to embrace that, let's do it. Double check it now. We're just having a little technical issue. Let's see if we've... Okay, and you can hear me? Great, all right. So, sorry about that. Had a little technical wah. So, the title tonight is Love and Respect. But what the title really was going to be is Love Who I Am and Respect Who I Am Becoming. But I thought that was really long, so I just kind of cut it to love and respect. So as I said, I had the pleasure of cat sitting and doggy sitting, almost back to back. And I noticed something that was shared with me with by other people. And I thought, when have I done this in my life? And, you know, our animals are very much a part of us. They are a living, breathing soul. I've been so caught in this divine awareness of our indigenous brothers and sisters saying, the rock has a soul. And never thinking of that and recognizing that animals are a living thing, but thinking of the rock very differently. But now coming to understand that they all have a soul, and that soul is present. Its presence, it is participating, it is giving and taking within our lives. And so cat sitting, it's very different. Cats have their own thing, and these cats are indoor, outdoor, so they come in at a certain time and they go out at a certain time. And I noticed how in the morning they would come to me like, hey, it's time to make it happen, girl. Open the doors. It's time for us to get out. It's time for us to be out there and participating. Whereas dogs, they, for the most part, aren't walking themselves. And so they look at you like, I want to go for a walk. I really want to go for a walk. Can I go for a walk? And I just thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, that struck me, there were a couple of people that I met when I was walking the dogs, and they would introduce their dogs in this manner. Oh, I got this dog from the pound, so be careful because they're not social. Or this dog was a rescue dog, and so they have some issues. And it hit me that how many times do we do that with one another, where we take whatever we were living, and be it your family or a friend or someone that you are aware of, that you consistently see them in that light, even though they may be making changes in their life. And so I thought with our pets, like, wow, if you always consider this pet a rescue pet, then I would think the energy of that pet is always on alert, on high alert. Or if you consider that pet to be a problem pet, I got it from the pound. When people tell me, oh, I got my dog from the pound, it's usually that's the first thing that they say about the pet. Not that this is Kiki or Jojo, or this is Kiki. I got Kiki from the pound. And that's a whole different energy. I remember when I had my dog, and my dog was gifted to me. And so my conversation when people would meet me about my little one was like, he was a gift given to me. And we had a very different relationship. Did he have his own sense of thinking? Absolutely. He was definitely my dog. But I started thinking that I introduced him as a gift, not as something that was endangered, something that was not well formed, something that was not well trained. And so I started thinking, wow, when we have friends and family in our life, that maybe you've done some amazing things in the past, or maybe you've done some really unpleasant things in the past, and you are on this journey that you have had an awakening and you're shifting your life. But your family and friends still want to speak to you from that old place. They want to love you from the old place, and their respect for you is that you still are not enough, because their relationship with you is from the old. And so I experienced that with pet owners, specifically with their dogs, that they were having a relationship that was from the past. The relationship was, I got this dog from the pound, and so this is still a dog that is a pound. The dog is still in the pound, and I can't understand why they're not accepting my love, or why they're not understanding that they're in a loving home. But at the core of this relationship is that you are saying this dog is from the pound. This dog is a rescue. I don't own this dog. I owned my dog. He was my gift. I say that he was my gift. And whether you think that or not, and one of the things that was really very clear was that there was one family and they had 2 dogs. And so the one dog that was from the pound was a dog that was untrained. The dog was constantly on edge. But the other dog that they had got, this dog was given to them in their family. This dog was given from grandmother to mother, from grandmother to mother, then to daughter. And so this dog was very loving, very relaxed and at ease. And I thought, wow. And I said to them, I said, your relationship with one of the dogs is that this dog is from the pound. And so this dog has not become graced as part of your family. It's a dog that you've sacrificed to bring into a family that you are now saying does not belong in the family because it's not responding. And they said, oh, it's been 5 years. And I thought, for 5 years, you've been saying, this dog is from the pound. For 5 years, you've been saying, this dog is a rescue. For 5 years, you've been telling this dog through your energy that you don't fit into our family. How many times have we done that with ourselves and with others? That we ourselves, we're in the midst of making a transition, we're in the midst of thinking in a new dynamic way, and we get caught in what we used to be and where we used to think. I love this quote by Ernest Holmes. I think it represents completely. And in the song that I sang, Love Song, it talks about becoming anew. Can you love me in the newness that I am? Can you accept that I am birthing into a new presence? I'll read this quote from Ernest Holmes. It says, love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It can be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel as though it has abandoned us. Denying love is our only problem, and embracing it is our only answer. Through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole. And as I read that, I thought, wow, how are we accepting the possibility? I keep going back to my encounter with animals and their owners because it's so present. And people speak so freely about their animals that this one is unruly or this one is not responding. I remember someone once told me about their animal that I tried to love them, but they didn't want it. I didn't digest that then. But I wonder if the love that they were trying to give was a love of condition. A love that I can only love you if you do what I say and how I say do it. The love of an animal is absolutely amazing. Their love and just unrelentless joy for you is always present. I saw this beautiful family walking the other day, and They had 2 dogs, a cockatoo, and a cat. And they were walking, the 2 dogs, the cat, and the cockatoo was on the lady's arm. And I was so taken back. I was driving and they were walking. I went around the block and pulled over because I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to investigate. How is it possible that you have these 3 different animals walking together? Now, her husband was walking with a dog and a cat, and she had a dog and the cockatoo. And I pulled over and I said, "This is so beautiful, it's amazing." And she started smiling and she said, "What's amazing about it?" I said, "Well, they all get along." And she said this to me. She said, "They understand in the animal kingdom that there's room for all." I was like, we get so caught up in that there's not enoughness, or that if you are not showing up in the way that I want you to show up, that then you are stopping me from my divine good, that you are blocking that which I am calling forth. And so I really want us to take a look at how we relate to our family, our friends, and absolutely our animals. How are we investing love? Are we investing it with stipulation? Are we saying that I got you from the pound and that's all you will ever be is a pound dog? That you will never be my dog because I got you from the pound. You will always be a rescue dog because I rescued you from something. And in our relationships, and I've heard this quote before, but they had a monkey sitting in the mirror, and it said, "Life is a mirror that will reflect back to the thinker what he, she, or it thinks into it." Now, I added the he, she, or it because in recognizing what we're talking about in loving and respecting, love for who we are and respecting where we're going. We are all on this magical journey of becoming. And at this time and space in our life, we are becoming more than even what we thought we could become. We are birthing more than what we knew was possible. There is the outer limits that we are embracing and marching towards. This other divine statement said, "Properly trained, a human can become a dog's best friend." Our animals are here to love and teach us. And when we start to recognize that the thoughts and things that we think about our animals, we are also thinking that about our human animals. That when we can't accept that the journey to go to receive love, to be love, comes from within you to without. So if you come from love from within and you give out that love, but you're expecting, you're wanting, hoping for that love to look a certain way, to respond a certain way, to be a certain way, then no longer is that love in its purest and honest form. It is now a stipulation. It is now a contractual agreement that most of the time both parties have not signed on to. So how can we start to recognize that? For myself, I want to love and support myself, but I also want to love and support my life and the world that I'm in. And so, for me, I want to think more thoughts that are in alignment with moving consciousness forward. I want to be present to the possibility that everything is unfolding for a divine purpose, and that I am participating at the level that I agree. I'm either participating in the low gook of it, and sometimes I need to be there because it births me to a higher level of appreciation. But to be alert and aware of what's happening, to be alert and aware of the words that I'm speaking and that I'm thinking, and to participate from a higher level of love. And so this family of the two dogs, the neighborhood that I was walking in, I saw them almost every other day. And every time that I saw them, there was this restraint on one dog of the pulling, that the dog could not be loving or kind. And I had to realize I had two dogs that I was walking. And one of the dogs, just a little love button, I don't care who you are, will go up to you, want a hug, want a kiss, will kiss the doggies, the babies, the whomever. And the other dog, no. I don't know you. I don't understand who you are. Get away from me. And so the very first time that I walked with this dog, I too was like, oh, you don't want to participate with anybody. And so I've had the pleasure of being with them a few times. And so this time I recognized that he had started to change. Now, was he as loving as the other dog, going up, kissing, hugging? No. But he was no longer barking. He could stand there and look at the situation. And I noticed that when I would pull on him, that when I would speak to him from his past, that's how he would respond. So when I had this awakening that, wow, they're saying that their dog is from the pound, or this is a rescue dog, I'm doing the same thing with him, saying, oh, he doesn't know how to be friendly, he doesn't want to do this, he doesn't want to do that. And so my whole energy with him would restrict, would restrain. And so I started shifting how I would speak to him. I'd say, it's okay. If he was barking, I was like, it's okay. You're just having some conversation. I'm not going to leave you. Everything's going to be all right. You will never get hurt. I got you. And this wasn't an overnight thing for our relationship. But it is where we are now. Because when I started noticing what others were doing, I said, the only reason you can notice it, Gino, is because you're doing it. Because you are not loving him for who he is and respecting for who he is becoming. And so the last 3 days that we walked together, he was this new dog for me. And sometimes we ask for change in our life, we ask for change in our relationship, and when it shows up, we don't know what to do with it. Because we've been so accustomed to the way it was, that not accepting to what is unfolding right now. And so we were walking, and the family with the two dogs and the restricting and the pulling on the other little dog, and I didn't pull him. And he sat and watched. I was so blown away because I knew that I had changed my energy with him, that I had a different story about him. I was appreciating a different essence of him that was there and available. And I know you're thinking, it's not always that easy. But I will say this. What are you committed to? If you have an animal that you have labeled as something that is not in the highest and best, if you have a friend or a family that you have labeled that's not in their highest and best, how are you supporting them? How are you supporting the relationship? I remember Abraham. I love Abraham. And Abraham was talking with a parent. And at this time I thought, this child just screwed up. And Abraham said, I'm going to paraphrase, it is impossible for you to see a different child if you hold on to who they used to be. You cannot see it. You will not see it. They will be different around other people, but not you. Because your entire energy, there is a reason that someone can come in, an animal trainer, and have a different relationship with your pet. The pet has not changed. The person that is in a relationship with that pet has changed. It's the same thing when we look at our family and friends and ourselves. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with your family or friends, when we constantly see them from who they used to be, it's impossible to respect what they're growing into. And so Abraham went on to say with his mother, because the mother was very frustrated and the mother was upset and hurting and feeling that she had, her pain was that she had let her child down, that what more could I do? What more could I do? And that's that martyr system, that victimhood. What more could I do? I put him in a great school. I gave them all that I have. What more could I do? And Abraham said, why must you do more? Why can't you accept that they're finding their own journey? I thought, wow. This birthing of, I love this as we are having this moment, there have been at least 7 or 8 dogs that have passed here. And they have stopped at the door, every last one of them. They've stopped at the door. There is an energy of truth that is resonating, that they are tapping into. When Abraham spoke to this mother, that you must not see who you think they are or who they're showing up as, see them for the gift and the light that you want them to be. With my little dog, I never even realized until this awareness came up in such a way that I always introduced him as this is my baby, this is my gift. This is not my rescue. This is not my pound. This is not my dog from the pound. And some would say, well, that's where I got them from. But how long does that have to be who they are? You went there to have a greater relationship with something. When will that relationship start? When will the relationship that you were seeking start and you let the old one go? You can rescue many different animals, but only love can make them feel at ease. Give your love unconditionally. For your family and friends that are in this time and presence that are seeking to find a higher awareness of who they are, meet them on that mountaintop. And if you can't meet them there, then sometimes you have to excuse yourself and say, we'll talk later. No one responds to anger or fear in a positive way. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, how would they respond to you in a good feeling way? I know. These are spiritual principles that we are being called to remember, we're being called to practice. We're being called to practice this higher awareness of spiritual awareness. Ernest Holmes said, we are to look for God in each other and love this God, forgetting all else. We are to look for God in each other and forgetting all else. We are to look for God in all things, in all places. To look for the highest level of awareness that we can at that time. To look for the divine light that is absolutely shining in every moment. There's always light. Even in the midst of all the darkness, there is always a light. We are to look for that. Forgetting all else, sometimes we can't forget all of the other things that are flowing through our system, flowing through our mind, but we can practice it. We can practice the possibility of that. So I want to leave you with this. As our thoughts are opened and we behold the image of eternity within ourselves, we are changed by this image into a newness of life. As our thoughts are opened and we behold the image of eternity within ourselves, we are changed by this image into a newness of life. As you say yes to the possibility, as you awaken to the awareness that you can love who or what they are now and respect who they're birthing into, and that includes yourself. You can love who you are right now and respect who you are becoming. You can love even in the midst of chaos and appreciate that you're aware that you're becoming more. You can love in the midst of pain and doubt and trust that your spiritual work, your divine relationship will shine a new awareness of what is giving birth. Every seed that is planted in the darkness. And it is nurtured there, it is watered there, it is nourished there, so that it will birth into the light. You will birth into the light. I want to thank you for joining me today and recognizing that with your pets, with your friends, with your family, you can love who they are now and respect who they are becoming. And speak that love on a daily basis. Accept that love. See that love. See that divine relationship for who and what you are filled with joy to be. Peace and blessings. So as we get ready for our divine conscious giving time, I am forever grateful to Universal Spirit Center for all of the divine, wonderful givingness that you constantly do, that you give in ways constantly. We are a global community. We are constantly expanding. So I thank you for being that divine light. There are many ways to give. You can go to our webpage.
I send my love
You can text us.
over the mountains. I send my
You can send in a check. You can hit our QR
over
code.
the sea. I send my love
And I thank you in advance
into the heavens,
for all that you do.
and it returns to me. I send my love
Over the mountain, I send my love. Over the sea, I send my love. Into the heavens,
and
it returns to me.
I send my joy
Joy over the
I send
mountain.
my joy
Joy over the sea, my joy into the heavens, it returns to me.
I send my power
Power over the mountain.
my power
Power over the sea.
send my power
Power into the heavens. It returns to me.
I send peace
Peace
over the mountain.
over the mountain.
I send peace
Peace
over the seas.
over the
I
sea.
send peace
Into
the
heavens, it returns to me.
I send my power over the mountains. I send my power
Over the sea.
send my power
Into the heavens. Don't you know it returns to you and me?
I send my love
Send your love over the
I
mountains.
send my love
Send your love over the sea.
send my love
Send your love into the heavens. It will return to you and me. It will return to you and me. It will return to you and me. It will return. Return Thank you, Karen Drucker, for such a beautiful song. It's great to sing along with you. How sweet that is. So let me share with you some of the things we have going on here at Universal Spirit Center. Coming up, September the 18th, Breaking Bread with us after the second gathering. The Power of Your Word is a new class with Reverend Sherry. Also, we have the Foundations class that is starting with, I think, with Reverend Kevin coming up in September. You want to check that out. A Day in History. Traffickers brought first enslaved Africans to Jamestown, Virginia. In order to know our history, we have to know our past. If you'd like to donate flowers to our center, please feel free. Thankful Thursdays, get in touch with me. I'd love to have you on Thankful Thursdays. It would be really awesome to share that with you. And we go online. We have about a 15 to 20 minute little chat. It's organic, it's fun. It's live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and it's a way of letting people know our community, and it's very simple to do. And I know that went by pretty quickly, but if you'd like to sponsor some flowers, maybe for a loved one, a pet, in celebration, in honor, please reach out to Lee at Universal Spirit Center, and we'd love to have you participate in that. It would be awesome. So, it has been a fantastic day. It's been a fantastic time to be here with you, to just recognize that the love of life is constantly ever growing and expanding. It can never get old. It will never retire. And it is forever and always. It is infinite. So I thank you for being here. I'm blessed by your presence. I am in awe of the magnificence that you are. We look forward to seeing you Sunday morning. We are now streaming both of our gatherings at 8:30, which is very contemplative and meditative, and then our 10:30, which is rock 'em, sock 'em, make 'em wanna rock 'em. So I thank you so much for being here. Peace and blessings, my angels.